force, and we strongly need long-range missile like HIMARS. We strongly need long-range artillery and high accuracy shells like Excalibur. We need tanks, strongly needs tanks, and strings armored carrier, because the main base of the offensive, which we start to provide, counter-offensive, it's a heavy mechanized unit. If we want to liberate our land, it have to be a lot of heavy mechanized unit, which is completely equipped by weapons. Only we need for win is just weapons. If collective West multiplied artillery system and HIMARS twice, we win. It's enough for us. After that, it could be airplanes like rockets and drones and something like this. But extremely, we need this war prove again and again the base of the armored force is the heavy mechanized units. If you want to win continental war, you need a lot of mechanized units, and we need all of this sort of weapon for us. Long-range artillery, multiplied rocket system, tanks, and armored carriers. Drones, aviation, it's the same, but main is this.
So there was information that in the first days of war, all the Zelensky workers received weapons, and you were the only one who produced, right?
No, not only one.
Okay, but
there was a 5 or 6 persons.
Okay, so how do you feel in these hours? And as I understood, you all heard the shots fired. There was something.
I was completely understand that I have to 5 hours to leave, because second assault have to be on Pechevsk region, which is the center of the Kiev, which is the government region, and they rechanged to Gostomel. That's why one reason, because it's first wave of air assault, it was not successfully, and we're ready for fighting. There's some of saboteurs in the perimeter of the office of the president. It was shooting, and you know famous picture with the president make with the prime minister, head of the office, and Mikhail Podolyak as advisor. It was just at the 5 minutes after shooting, president came for the street, and it's still the smoke of the powder is still in the air, and president says, "We're here, we don't give up." But we're ready for dying. It's to be honored, because it's a huge miscalculation between our forces in Kiev and Russian forces. It's about 20-25 times. And like a military person, we completely understand we don't win. If Russians do not give some stupid mistakes, we will give up. But about these mistakes, I can say after the war, not now, because they can't repeat. Like this.
What is happening now in the front? What updates you have now?
For today morning, it's two direction for the counterattacks. It's one in the Kherson region, and another one from Kharkiv region. We don't say it's about names of the towns for information security reasons, but you can read it in the Telegram channels on the Russians, which is a town start from B and by yeah. We from the one day we make a big gain about 50 kilometers and 40 kilometers in the rear of the Russians. Take a lot of prisoners, take a lot of ammunition, take a lot of military equipments and weapons, and we start to provide this counteroffensive right there. We hope for 1 or 2 months to retake in Kherson, and some interesting acts will be in the east of the Ukraine.
Baltic states and Poland have agreed to not let in Russians with visas, and what do you think about that?
Russians start to information war about this. And the direction is, they say it's an example of Russophobia, but it's not. For my opinion, we have to speak about this like about security reasons for European countries, because Russia, by the highest authorities like President Putin or Putin itself, says we providing war against collective West. If they provide in war against collective West, what thousands and dozens of thousands of Russian citizenships doing in this collective way, West. Because as the citizens of the state who is officially proclaimed, they bring the war against the collective West. We remember the ammunition depots in Czech Republic. We remember the Salisbury case and like this. So it's just defend measures from the collective West against state which is officially proclaimed, the war against collective West. That's all.
What do you think when there can be a break point in the war?
The break point when we retake Kherson, or something like this. There, because Russian model, it's a paratroopers on the fontaine, you know? You have to be drunk, you have to be like this, and go to like Indians go to the fight. If they take by the face, they start to be quiet. And when they do understand at all what the propaganda have to say for their own citizens and militaries, they start to take defeats. Because they only understand only propaganda and narratives built up and designed only for offensive, for taking lands and people. If they stopped or start to be defeated, they lose at us. All narratives lost, all propaganda lost, all government tensions lost. Russians start to collapse after we retake Kherson or in other big places, or make some like surroundings and taken in thousands of prisoners or something like this.
What about Crimea?
We take Crimea in the future. We strike Crimea, if you know. And in Saki airport, military airport, we kill for one strike Russian aviation regiment. And we still do this.
How do you see, what is your role in this war?
It's not скромный, как будет по-английски?
Humble.
Humble. It's not humble for me to say. The people have to say what my role is. But I completely understand. So a little bit to win the informational war against Russia with Mr. Fege. You know.
You told today that the Warsaw battle is defeating. What does it mean? And will it be the same end like 500 years ago?
Absolutely. We will win this war. It's completely understand. The most worst scenario, we will win next summer. But it's completely depend from quantity of weapons which West give us. If collective West give us a lot of weapons, we win this winter. If not, it could be in next summer, but we win it. It's completely understandable even for Russians. They completely understand this.
Lithuanian support. What does it mean to Ukraine, and is it important?
Lithuanian support?
Lithuania.
If you not support us, I will be dying already. Because Lithuanian president and Lithuanian Minister of Defense, it was the first foreign leaders who come in Kiev when in the middle of the March, when it was surrounded by Russian forces. It was a great political, informational, and spiritual help us. But even we take the armored vehicle, which is where collective West give us, they give us 130 vehicles, and 50 from them gives only little Lithuania. So it's incredible participation for our. You give us иногда как будет. Sometimes I think Lithuania give us two of the 3 parts of your military budget. You know, so it's incredible survival. That's how I want to use this case for tell Lithuanian people and government, military, and all of us. A very great pleasure from Ukrainian people and government, from president, from all of us, because you save 1,000 lives of Ukraine by your weapon, by your political, informational, economical support. It's, if not you, we believe right now. This is not even important. This is not example war. It's existential helpness and support. Thank you so much.
A few days ago, you were talking with Hagen and told him a Russian word. What job. Maybe we have a new word to express that.
They're waiting to collapse. Yeah, they're waiting to collapse. We take back Crimea, we take back all occupied territory, we take back Donbass. We have a 95% for military support of all our government, all our population, all our military to end this war by military victory under the Russian army. And before this war started, before a couple of days, I have a Mr. Fegin conversation on the TV, and I say Russians achieve in Ukraine, evading in Ukraine, just clear military defeat. Not by some narratives, no by information or war, just clear military narrative, and they close for this. Yesterday it was a day they start to be defeated. The first stage was they can't take in Kiev, Sumy and Chernihiv. Second one, they stopped after Lysychansk and Severodonetsk captured because they can't to provide more offensive. The great example, Russian government says for Russian army, there's a four military district to collect for army corps from every district, and they managed to collect just one instead four, and bring them here in Ukraine. They can't to provide mobilization. They can't win this war. They have no any necessary resources for this, so they lose this war. And слово, которое я употребил, вот его можете умножить на 4, и вот им уже так. И будет еще хуже.
You are talking a lot about support from Western countries, about weapons support, but in Western countries now, talking a lot about energy crisis, Do you see that some Western countries get tired from war?
I don't really believe in this, because now they collect a guess about 90% in the pots. And I think it's just a narrative, it's a part of the information war. And even if it's been a cold winter and some troubles, it's just one winter to cut all depends from Russia. Next winter, it will be absolutely new Europe without depending from Russia. I think Europe to have one winter patience for cut any decision from any dependence from Kremlin at all. It's a great opportunity to cut this dependence from Kremlin, because if not, Kremlin's again and again try to use it against Europe.
But it's not strange, for you when you're talking about cold winter and some Ukrainians died.
Because it's a democracy. The politicians have to say the elections. It's not so easy. It's very difficult to be politicians, to be government. We try to do our best, and all times it's try to prevent some terrible, and after they say we save you from this great troubles. We are good person, and something like this. I think it's a part of the democratic speech and it's part of information war. I don't really see the real threat for Europe to be cold in this. For us, it could be, because Russia could provide us cruise missile strikes of our hidden ports, hidden industry. It could be, but I don't strongly believe in this at all, because they lose the missiles, and our air defense doing well. So I don't believe this scenario even for Ukraine, for Europe.
Do you believe that Putin can call all mobilization from all over?
No.
Why
No.
not?
Because you need a lot of military personnel to transform this huge mass of people to armed force. They don't have it. They try to collect one army corps from 4 they plan to collect. It's absolutely impossible. And they remember one important historical thing. The mobilized people, soldiers, give up the Moscow Tsar, Nikolai II, because they don't want to go to the German front line. It was easy for them to recapture Moscow Tsar, Russian Tsar, then go to the German machine guns. And they remember, and they're very afraid about this. They're afraid to give weapon in the hands of the population. And they don't have a military ability, just organization ability. They destroy Russian, Soviet mobilization system and do not provide new mobilization system. It's take years. You could provide great and effective mobilization system even for 2 years. You have to 5-8 years. We have, because we have 8 years for fighting before. Russians no.
Do you have information that they have a lot of supplies, a lot of new weapons? Maybe
No. The great example, they tried to negotiate with Iran and when North Korea about artillery shells. And the two countries, two states which is under sanctions years and years, the 40 years sanctions. And if Russians address for them, it means they have a big problem with ammunitions. And now in the battle of the field, we see the helmets by 1948 and something like tanks like T-62, which is elder than we are together. And the main problem is, if we want to understand what is the power, military power of the state, we have to look at the shoes of the soldier. Russians have absolutely poor shoes from Russians. They collect from our diet soldiers, which is absolutely stupid because from military beliefs, from military tradition, you can't take in shoes on the diet soldier. It's a very bad sign. But they do this, they know this, but do it because it's terrible for this. It's a great military power, second army of the world.
In your opinion, what needs to be done to Russians to stop support Putin and war in Ukraine?
We have to divide them. Accuracy divide Putin regime and Russian people, Russian population and population of the Russia. Because there's a lot of different nations. And if we start to divide and say the Russians not problem is Mr. Putin, we will take a great advantage against the Russian propaganda. Now, from the last Russian polls, they accuracy divide between people, 44% people who do not want still during the war, and 44 still to believe Russia have to provide war at all. And cutting is the main goal what we have to do. We have to say Mr. Putin is not okay, Russians is okay.
Let's talk about the future, near future. You are pushing occupants
From our land.
back to Russia from Ukraine. Will you stop with your borders?
I can't say it's officially and unofficially too, but
Do you have serious plans to run for presidency of Ukraine?
it's a great joke, but problem is now we have one president and one head of the commander of the armed forces, and still the war during. I never answer on these questions. You have to understand me because it's we have to collect all trust for the President Zelensky.
Yet your office said that you must stop the active phase of war until the winter. What does it mean?
Me? Head of the office says I am an active phase in
No, Ukraine must stop the active phase of fighting until the winter. What does that mean?
I understand. Sorry for this. It's a main goal for us because it's very dangerous about hidden industry. Russian tried to strike it before the winter to call us at all. And the best scenario for us to win this war before the winter starts. But I don't really think so. It's a good achievement, good goal, but not possibility. It's all, but for the по умолчанию. Компьютерный термин. By default, we need. It totally depends from quantity of Western weapons you give us. Because if you give a lot of weapons, we win for 3 months. If not, it's 6 months, 9 months could be, but not more, I think. All situation, all scenarios depends from quantity of Western weapons. If Western twice weapons you already give us, we win this war in the short terms.
Does Ukraine expect some invitation to join NATO in some activity?
If we win the war, it's what's absolutely different situation than now. Now I think NATO it's a little bit not about this role go Ukraine and NATO because taking Ukraine and NATO because there's a afraid Russian. It's what's a red line for Kremlin. Something it could provide a nuclear weapon on the battlefield or something like this. But after we win this war, and we plan to win this war before the next summer, it's completely another situation, and it could be real for now. Because NATO need us more than we need NATO. You understand? If NATO have a lot of tensions, what they have to do with Russians, which way they have to go, we were just discussing the conference right now. If NATO take Ukraine, they have very strong right flank or eastern flank of NATO. We are front line from NATO. We defend our lives, NATO values, European values, and NATO nations. So just give us weapon and we defend you from Russia at all. It's a good, как сказать, хорошее вложение НАТО. Good investment to NATO to take Ukraine in the alliance.
Any last remarks?
First time in Lithuania.
Not second one. But I was one day when I buy the car with Lithuanian signs. It was three years ago. I came in the night, and only I see it's just a car market and nothing at all, and come back.
Oh, you bought a car here?
Yeah, yes. It's a traditional Ukrainian traditional bought a car. Pardon? 3 years ago. Yeah. Now this car attacked Kherson because I give it for my friend in front line. He driving it. He's battalion commander on Kherson direction. Do you know that's Lithuanian Bayraktar? Bayraktar now operating on the Kherson direction and has a huge results for striking. So I want to say thank you so much for this.
Okay, so thank you for coming and thank you
so
for
much.
answering our questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No problem. If you want to take a photo, you can.